I had a question for you. Well, actually, Spenmo had a question. And I think it's a good question about the Detroit Lions. We are going to do a football thing real quick because I think it garners some discussion. I think we're all in agreement that the Lions' best positional group right now is the offensive line.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the best in football.
Yeah.
The National
100%.
Football League. What's their next best positional group?
I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but at least on paper, you got to go with the secondary, just with how much they have revamped it in the offseason. And we don't even talk about Tracy Walker coming back from injury. They signed Emmanuel Mosley and Cam Sutton in free agency, and both of those guys, Cam Sutton played a full season, Emmanuel Mosley did not, but both of those guys allowed less than a 70 passer rating when targeted last year. Obviously, Emmanuel Mosley on a low sample size, but he's been a guy if he plays, he could be big. CJ Gardner-Johnson was tied for the NFL lead in interceptions. You got Kirby Joseph, who forced 6 turnovers last season going into his second year, including 3 interceptions of Aaron Rodgers, and then Tracy Walker coming back. I know Achilles is a tough one, but in this secondary room, I don't know if they're going to need Tracy Walker to be an every down starter. And I haven't even gotten to Brian Branch, who I think is the pick that was most universally beloved by Lions fans. We were all very happy for it. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. What I like about Brian Branch is his versatility. Last season at Alabama, 90 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, a whopping 14 tackles for loss. If he had a better 40 time and maybe better athleticism measurables, I think he would have been maybe the second DB off the board after Devon Witherspoon. And he was a steal for the Lions at 45. So this secondary went from being a secondary where Jeff Okudah and Jerry Jacobs were starters.
Just call it what it was.
Yes.
A liability.
To, I don't know if I want to necessarily say elite, but they revamped it with both veterans and rookies. I think it's going to be one of the... When you look at the totality of the secondary room and the depth, it'll be one of the better ones in the NFC for damn sure. So that's why I say secondary.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread FJ1967 says Micah Parrish about the Mountain West. San Diego State, transfer from Oakland University. National championship game. Does Mountain West stand up out here? Lone Spoon 77, coconut tastes like soap. You're wrong.
Coconut's good, man.
Coconut slaps, man. Chuck Brewer says it might be the defensive backs. For me, Demetrius Hurt echoes my sentiments. Can we speak on the Lions receiving corps? Demetrius, yes, we can, because I believe that is the next best group on this team. And here's why. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a star.
Yes, he is.
He is a star. He hasn't gotten that shine yet from everybody. And I know it's not flashy because he's not blowing the top off of defense and catching an 80-yard touchdown pass. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is him. And there is nobody on this team that I trust more than Penei Sewell other than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's fair.
Real talk. I have 1,000,000% implicit trust of Amon-Ra St. Brown. You add Jamison, and I know no one likes him anymore. Everybody hates him now.
That's true.
But when you add Jamison Williams to the mix, and guys, I know you say I put more into it than you guys do, but the cat touched the football 3 times and scored a touchdown all 3 times he touched the football. That happened. One got called back. The ref said he wasn't in on the other one, and they punched it in right away. But that happened. That's electric.
100%. And the thing is, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. It's just a lot of that would be, I would say, ceiling. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're 100% right. He, like Penei Sewell, took that second-year leap from being damn good rookies to stars. And Jamison Williams, he's a guy that I think his ceiling is to be the best wide receiver from his draft class, to be kind of like a Jalen Waddle type player. And if he starts to realize that this season, it could be one of the stronger position groups. And we haven't even talked about Marvin Jones.
Or Tom Kennedy.
Who is going to lose his roster spot to Antoine Green, by the way. Or Josh Reynolds. I mean, it could be a pretty damn good core, and that doesn't include what Jahmyr Gibbs is going to bring out of the backfield as well. He'll be one of the biggest pass-catching threats this season.
Doesn't count as wide receiver.
I know.
The whole Antoine Green movement, though, I saw our social team put out like the clips of him catching like all these fades and everything like that. Tom Kennedy will be here when it's all said and done because the guy is a precise route runner. Precise. That's why he's here.
He's made some big plays.
And he's made big plays.
Even I will admit
Do not
that.
doubt Tom Kennedy.
Kennedy.
I mean, he might get he might actually get double-digit receptions this year. We'll see, for the first time ever.
How many of those will be first downs on the road on 3rd and long?
Honestly, if it leads to Lions wins, I will shut my mouth and I'll be fine.
Well, no, because you're still talking, and he did that last year in New York.
He did that, but then everybody just loses their damn minds. He still had 8 catches on the season. I'm just saying.
They were big.
We hope that – can we at least say that we hope that Antoine Green becomes – something over Tom Kennedy?
He's got to run routes, man.
He does have to run routes. It's the only reason that he wasn't a higher draft pick. He's just kind of a guy who's gotten by on his size, his 50-50 catching ability. I mean, he's got the talent. But yeah,
and by the way, had Drake May as his quarterback.
Drake May, and then the year before Sam Howell. I understand.
Yes.
Drake May is a combination of the two. Yeah.
Woodwardsports.com chat thread. LFG says Neal is a thinking man's NFL fan. No, I mean, it's just I've seen it. Like, that's it. That's all. And we knew what the story was when they drafted Jameson. We've talked about the points 100 times where we knew you were only getting maybe 25% of the games out of a season. And when he was in the games, and I think whatever you can say whatever you want about Jameson Williams, just give me this. It was apparent that he was on a quote unquote pitch count when he was in games. It's apparent.
No doubt about it. I honestly, and maybe this was unfair of me, it kind of got a little frustrating after a while because we saw what he did immediately when he got thrust in the lineup, and that was his only catch on the season. I'm not trying to be unfair. That is just a factual statement. I thought that they would get him more involved, and this year I think when he comes back, they will. And if the Lions are to have that wide receiving core, which is one of the strengths of their team, Jameson Williams has to be a star almost from day one, but I wouldn't put that past him. Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were from day one. Why can't Jameson Williams? He's better as a prospect than both of them.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Good to see Grandpa Joe jumping back in. Can someone go to Brandon Katz's parents' basement and wake him up? We need his take on this. Where is Brandon, by the way, today? Hey, you know what? You can say what you want about him. He's a valued member of the show.
He's electric in the chat.
Yeah,
he
is,
gets the people
man.
Going.
He does, absolutely. I enjoy some of his takes. A, because either I agree with them, or B, they are pretty laughable. But either way, they get a reaction. Jonesy 5182. Sam Flannel, you can legend kill anyone you want, but do not mess with TK85.
And that's your line of delineation, TK85. That's saying something. And you wonder why I have my irritations with him. I will just say that.
Keith Smith says JMO averages 40 yards per reception and 40 yards per rush. This guy might go 10,000, 1,000 this year.
10,000, 1,000.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Hey, if he's 40 yards a catch, you got to get him 10 balls.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to.
You have to.
It's 400 yards in a game right there.
Electric.